Dashcams are a vital addition to all vehicles these days, and having proof can save you hassle and protect you in an insurance dispute. Thankfully, installing one in your car is easy and something the majority of people will be able to do themselves. There's no special tools or wiring experience needed. You'll just need to devote a little bit of time and you'll be ready to record. I haven't worked with a brand to produce this video, though you should know that the dashcam I'm installing is the T800 by 70mi and was provided by them for a previous video. I'm just using it here because I have it to hand, plus it's a bit of a beast, filming 4K front and rear with a HD cabin camera too. Before we begin, please note that this video is for educational and informational purposes only. You're responsible for any work you perform on your vehicle and should always follow your vehicle manufacturer's instructions and safety guidelines. With that out of the way, let's get stuck into the video. When you buy a dashcam, you'll likely find everything you need to install it in the box. This will usually include the dashcam itself, which might have one lens that faces the road, or like the T800 model here, an inward-facing cabin camera too. A rear dashcam, which is normally much smaller than the front unit. A power cable, which connects to the front dashcam via a USB-C or USB micro B port and into the vehicle at the 12-volt cigarette lighter port. These are usually a good few meters long to accommodate the distance between the windscreen and the 12-volt port. An even longer USB cable will connect the front camera to the rear camera, again usually a USB-C or USB micro B connection. A micro SD card. Sometimes these aren't included, which is a little bit strange considering they're essential to the functioning of the dashcam, but ultimately you'll want to have one in the hundreds of gigabytes range. A trim tool or plastic pry tool. This will help pop bits of the dashboard or surrounding trim off in order to hide cables and neaten the installation, and I'll explain more about how to do that later. Spare sticky pads. The mounting part of the dashcam will usually have a sticky pad attached and ready to go, but there's often a spare included in case you change your mind on the position of the dashcam or make a mistake. A user manual. This will give you a rundown of all the specs, features and settings, as well as common issues for troubleshooting in a number of languages. Other items you might get and are useful are alcohol wipes to clean the windscreen of any dirt and residue to ensure good adhesion. Static window stickers, which are essentially a buffer between the dashcam sticky pad and your windscreen to make the dashcam easier to remove. The stickers use static to hold to the glass and you stick the dashcam onto that. A hardwire kit. This is a much bigger topic, but hardwiring is an alternative power source which provides round-the-clock power to your dashcam so that it can either record constantly or be triggered by motion to protect the car when you're away from it. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on it here, as this video is really to show you how to get a standard dashcam installed. However, I've already made an in-depth video on how to hardwire a dashcam, which is linked in the description. And if you're not sure which dashcam to buy, then I've just put together an ultimate guide of dashcams I've tested recently with comparisons of their features and what you should be looking out for. Click the video link in the top right hand corner or find it in the description below too. Choosing a mounting location on your windscreen is a really important step, because where you mount your dashcam affects video quality, safety, and even whether the footage is usable if you ever need it. The best place for most dashcams is directly behind the rearview mirror, or just slightly to the passenger side of it. Mounting it too low can block your view and make the footage look awkward, while mounting it too high can interfere with the image clarity, as it could fall into the area your windscreen wipers don't reach, so when it rains your footage will never be clear. If you have an interior facing camera like I have here, then the dashcam will need to be low enough behind the mirror so the lens isn't completely obscured. Don't worry if you can't see the screen completely when it's installed, but it is handy to be able to see enough of it to confirm it's recording before you set off. Next, think about the camera's field of view. You want the camera to capture the full width of the road, traffic signs and number plates ahead of you. It's also important to check local laws. All countries and regions have differing regulations about whether objects can be mounted on the windscreen and, if they can, whether certain positions can be classed as obstructing the driver's view. So it's always a good idea to double check where you'll be driving. Now that you've chosen the best mounting location, it's time to actually install the front dashcam. This part is straightforward, but taking your time here will make the rest of the install much cleaner. Before removing the adhesive backing, do a test fit. Hold the camera in place, turn it on and preview the angle using the screen or an app. This saves you from peeling and resticking the mount later, which can weaken the adhesive or use up the spare pad unnecessarily. Next, you can clean the windscreen where the mount will go. Use an alcohol wipe or glass cleaner to remove dust, oils or residue. When the glass is dry, attach the mount to the windscreen. Most dash cams use either an adhesive mount or a suction cup. If you're using an adhesive mount, peel off the backing and press it firmly against the glass for about 20 to 30 seconds. Apply even pressure and avoid repositioning it once it's stuck. If it's a suction cup you're using, like this Nextbase 622GW has as an optional extra, press it firmly against the glass and lock it in place. It's also worth knowing that sticky pads aren't perfect due to the extreme hot and cold conditions they can be exposed to. When this happens, I buy 3M's VHB temperature resistant sticky pads and cut myself a new one, and these often last longer than the original sticky pads included in the box. Once the mount is secured, slide or snap the dash cam into the mount. Make sure it clicks or locks in properly so it doesn't wobble or fall out. After installing the front dash cam, the power cable will be hanging around and in the way, so it's time to hide it. To start, tuck the wire nearest the dash cam into the headliner, right where the windscreen meets the roof. You can usually do this with your fingers, but a plastic trim tool can help push the wire in neatly without damaging anything. Next, route the cable towards the A-pillar, which is the vertical pillar to the side of the windscreen. Before going any further, this is important. Many vehicles have airbags inside the A-pillar. You never want to run the cable directly over an airbag. Instead, route the wire behind the airbag or along the outer edge of the pillar, following existing factory wiring wherever possible. Carefully pull back the A-pillar trim just enough to tuck the cable behind. Don't force anything, as you don't want to snap the clips that hold it in place. If you're unsure where the airbag is located, check your vehicle's manual and look for an airbag marking on the trim. As I don't have A-pillar airbags in my van, this isn't something I need to worry about for this installation. From here, route the cable towards your power source, which in this install is the 12-volt port found between the front footwells. Finding the best place to route cables is different in nearly every vehicle and may involve hiding cables in alternative places to here, but it will be worth the effort in the long run. Ultimately, make sure the wire is secured and not dangling near the pedals. This is critical for safety, as nothing should interfere with your feet while driving. Once the cable is fully routed, plug it into the power source and turn the vehicle on to test the dash cam. Confirm that it powers up and starts recording automatically. A good rule of thumb is to aim the camera so the horizon sits about halfway up the frame. Too much sky means you'll miss important road details, and too much dashboard means wasted footage. This will help balance the exposure better too. If your dash cam has a rear camera, then it's now time to install that too. As I have a van with rear barn doors, I'm going to switch to my partner's car so I can show a more common installation involving a boot or trunk. Just like with the front camera, clean the mounting area using a wipe before peeling back the adhesive backing and pressing the mount firmly against the glass. I'm placing the camera higher up the window and slightly to the side nearest the centre of the road for better coverage, and it also gives me the ability to hide the wire in the trim where cables are already routed. Once it's secure, adjust the angle so it points straight out of the window. Try to ensure the lens doesn't sit directly on a window defogging line too, as this could obstruct your recordings. Once the rear camera is mounted, tested and working, the next goal is to hide the cable completely so the install looks clean like the front. Start at the rear camera itself, plugging the USB cable into it. From there, tuck the cable up into the nearest headliner, cavity or area that's capable of hiding it, and work your way forward. In this car, I've worked the cable down to the floor where there's some accessible trim, but this will vary between vehicles. Moving back to my van, as I have a covered plywood floor, I'm lucky in that I can easily tuck the cable away beneath it as I head towards the front of the vehicle. Once you get there, if you're coming from the ceiling, feed the wire towards the windscreen, be that up an A-pillar or through the headliner. When it reaches the dash cam, plug it in. So that's the dash cam installed, and there's just a few final steps to finish the process and get it recording. First, make sure the dash cam has power and is turned on. Then go through any of the setup required on the screen, which usually includes setting the date and time and language. Next, insert a microSD card and make sure it's formatted. As dash cams use loop recording, which overwrites the oldest unprotected footage, You don't need to delete clips from the card, however it's good practice to format the card once a month to ensure its health and so it doesn't get corrupted and lose your valuable files. Finally, head to the settings and double check that the camera is working how you want it to. You can change many things such as the filming resolution and the loop recording duration too. So that's my rundown of how to install a dashcam in your vehicle. Hopefully this guide has helped show you how to do it and given you the confidence to do it for yourself. If you have, I'd love to know which dashcam you've added to your car or which dashcam you'd like me to review in the future. Let me know in the comments below along with any questions or queries you might have. If you found this video helpful and think I've earned it, please give this video a like and subscribe and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.